Little Alice was forced to eat 10 buttons a day and 20 pebbles, but she was still hungry. Not long after, she never opened her eyes again. This tragedy began with a war, and an older brother too lazy to take responsibility. Alice had once been a rich family's child, eating fresh food every day, but then the war came. Their mother was burned in a fire, her body covered in scars. Jack, Alice's brother, took her to live with relatives. Alice never knew their mother had already passed. Jack hid the urn in the yard, and told Alice their mother was still in the hospital. He feared their relatives would throw them out, so he went back to their ruined home, digging up the food they once hid, trying to use it as payment to stay. But the supplies ran out. Soon, Jack was left with nothing but a bowl of thin soup. It wasn't that the relatives were cruel, it was that Jack refused to work. When the rice was gone, their aunt suggested selling their mother's dresses for grain, but Alice begged not to. Those dresses were her mother's most beautiful things. By then, they were orphans. The days of being fed without effort were long gone. Government rations gave them a little rice, but that only made Jack lazier. Their aunt warned him again and again, but Jack wouldn't listen. Instead, he dragged Alice to live in an air raid shelter. The aunt worried constantly. She knew Jack couldn't really take care of Alice. They lived off their mother's savings, but money burns out fast, like a firefly glowing one night before it dies. Alice buried dead fireflies in the dirt. She didn't know their mother was buried the same way. She whispered to her grave, "Mom, sleep well." Jack wept. He swore he'd give Alice a better life, but reality was merciless. No meat, no proper food, only frogs and rotten barley. Alice's skin broke out in rashes. Jack didn't notice. When lice crawled through her hair, he simply crushed them with his fingers, never thinking of a doctor. Food came only through stealing. At first, the police pitted him and let him go. Alice, though just 5, was the one who comforted her brother. "Why are you crying? Do you feel sick?" she asked with a kindness beyond her years. Jack couldn't hold back anymore. He hugged her tight, sobbing. Bombs fell again. Villagers hid in the shelters. Jack searched for food in the ruins, bringing back pumpkin for Alice. But soon, he went too far. He stole clothes from neighbors, thinking he could trade them for rice. That lie led only to punishment. When Jack came home, he saw a dirty doll on the ground. He searched desperately. Alice was lying weak on the roadside. At the hospital, the doctor lifted her shirt. Her tiny body was covered in rashes. Jack explained she had diarrhea for days. The doctor shook his head. Malnutrition. Her body's shutting down. Jack rushed home later with their mother's pension money. He expected to see Alice on the swing. Instead, she was on the bed, eating something. Jack froze. They hadn't bought candy. He grabbed the jar. Inside were buttons. Alice had mistaken them for sweets. Jack pulled them from her mouth. Panicked, she even handed him a stone, whispering, "Eat it, brother. I already had a few." His tears wouldn't stop. He tried to cheer her up with watermelon, gently feeding her each piece. But in his arms, Alice's eyes closed forever. Was Alice's death really Jack's fault?